Far beyond the familiar stars of the Milky Way, a fleet of alien ships hovered silently. The commanders of the Empire had watched countless worlds fall, planets burn, and civilizations collapse under their might. Yet one small blue planet caught their attention: Earth. From a distance, the aliens observed Earth like a curious experiment. Their scanners focused on the surface, recording every movement, every sign of life. At first glance, the humans seemed weak, small, fragile creatures living on a fragile world. But then, something unusual happened. A sudden disaster struck a human city. Tremors shook the ground, buildings collapsed, and screams filled the air. Emergency alarms blared. From the alien perspective, this should have been a simple spectacle of chaos. Yet the humans acted differently than any species the Empire had encountered. Men and women rushed into crumbling buildings to pull others out. Strangers helped strangers. Parents protected children not from fear, but from hope. Entire communities moved together, sharing resources, food and water, organizing rescue efforts as if every human life mattered equally. The alien observers blinked in confusion. "Why do they risk themselves for others?" one commander asked. Its voice was a series of sharp clicks, almost a laugh of disbelief. "It makes no sense. There is no advantage. There is no gain. These humans are illogical." Another alien shook its tentacle-like appendages. "Perhaps they are weak. Empathy, compassion. These are weaknesses. They will die quickly if left alone." Yet, something in the scanners told a different story. The energy readings from human brains spiked in strange patterns whenever they helped one another. The aliens had never seen this before. It was as if emotions themselves carried power. Suddenly, a small human ship appeared in orbit. It moved unpredictably, far faster than physics should allow. The alien fleet tensed. "Analysis shows no weapons of mass destruction," the sensors reported. Yet it does not behave as expected. Its trajectory is erratic, unpredictable. The first alien commander frowned. Unpredictable behavior is dangerous. We do not understand them, and the unknown is always a threat. The humans below continued their rescue efforts, unaware of the eyes watching from space. Soldiers and civilians worked side by side, not out of orders or duty but because they cared. An old man lifted a fallen child from the rubble, a mother guided strangers to safety, and a young woman carried water to the exhausted rescuers. Back on the alien ships, the debate grew louder. "They are dangerous," one said. "They have no technology to challenge us. No fleets. No weapons. Yet their unity, their willingness to risk everything, it could disrupt entire strategies." Another alien clicked angrily. "It is absurd. Emotions cannot destroy fleets or conquer planets. They are simple creatures. Fragile." But even as they argued, the humans continued to act. Every time the small ship moved closer to Earth, it seemed to respond to some invisible signal from the planet. It dodged, hovered, and changed course without any apparent logic. The aliens' calculations could not predict its path. "It is impossible," whispered one of the younger officers. "Every calculation fails. Its speed, its actions, nothing fits. How can one small ship, with no weapons, cause such chaos in our sensors?" The fleet commander leaned closer to the viewing screen. Tiny humans rushed into collapsing streets, pulling others to safety. Their energy pulses, linked to their compassion, pulsed stronger and stronger, affecting nearby satellites and even the alien ship's navigation systems. "They are extraordinary," the commander admitted quietly. "We have faced empires, armies, and machines beyond imagination. But these humans, they are unpredictable. And unpredictability is terrifying." In that moment, the aliens understood something vital. This was not weakness. Compassion was not simple kindness. It was a force the galaxy could not measure, control, or destroy. And humans wielded it freely. The small human ship, seemingly unaware of the chaos it caused, shot off into deep space, leaving the aliens scrambling to track it. Their scanners flashed warnings. Their calculations failed repeatedly. Fear rippled through the command crew. "Prepare for possible contact," the fleet commander ordered. "We cannot ignore this species. Something about them, something about their unity, their care, their strange power, terrifies me." Below, Earth's people continued to save lives. No one cheered for themselves. No one sought reward. Yet from orbit the aliens watched, trembling in silence. The galaxy had never seen anything like this. And at that very moment, one thing became clear. The universe did not fear humans for their weapons, their fleets, or their technology. The universe feared their compassion. The alien fleet hovered silently above Earth, its dark hulls reflecting the faint light of a distant sun. Every ship in the armada had sensors trained on the blue planet below. The commanders still could not shake the memory of the small human ship that had appeared so unpredictably. It had moved faster than any technology they had ever encountered. And yet it had no weapons, no shields, nothing they could identify as a threat, except for something they could not measure. On Earth, life continued. Cities were slowly recovering from the disaster that had shaken the first observation zones. But to the alien eyes, the recovery itself was strange. Humans rebuilt not only their homes but their communities. Strangers helped each other without reward. People protected even those who had done them harm in the past. Children were guided to safety by neighbors they had never met. Mothers carried water to the injured. Soldiers formed human chains to lift rubble. The aliens watched in confusion. "What is this?" one whispered. Its voice was a low hiss. "We have never seen cooperation like this. Not even on planets we conquered. They are illogical." "Perhaps they are weak," another replied, clicking its claws nervously. "Compassion will not save them. Their lives are short. Their weapons primitive." Yet, it paused, its tentacles twitching as it scanned the readings. "Their emotions are powerful. Far stronger than expected." The alien scanners detected something unusual. Energy waves were radiating from human brains, seemingly connected to their emotions. Every act of compassion, the rescue of a stranger, a comforting gesture, a shared resource, generated pulses that interfered with communications and sensors in the alien fleet. It was subtle but undeniable. "They are not just helping," a young officer admitted. "They are changing the environment. The energy from their empathy is affecting our instruments. It is impossible." The alien commanders huddled together, arguing. One voice rose over the others. "We have faced empires, weapons that destroy planets, fleets that can consume stars. And yet, these humans, these fragile, emotional creatures, are unpredictable. That unpredictability makes them dangerous." The debate was cut short by a sudden spike in readings. The small human ship that had appeared earlier returned. It moved in patterns the aliens could not understand, sometimes accelerating, sometimes hovering for no reason, as if it were responding to some invisible force. "What is it doing?" another officer hissed. "It is not following our laws of physics. It is alive, sentient, and it is helping." The fleet watched silently as the ship moved toward a distant city. Below, humans had discovered a chemical leak caused by the disaster. Without hesitation, volunteers entered the danger zone, carrying equipment to stop the leak. Some were injured. Some were unconscious. But still they continued. The small human ship hovered above, almost as if observing, almost as if protecting them. The aliens could not comprehend it. "No creature should act this way," the first commander muttered. "They are defying every calculation. They are irrational, dangerous." Meanwhile, on Earth, no one even noticed the alien eyes. Humanity was absorbed in its own struggle to survive. A young boy handed water to an elderly woman. A man used debris to block a broken gas line. Even animals were rescued not for reward but for the sake of life itself. Back on the alien command bridge, tension grew. "We cannot predict them," one officer admitted, its voice trembling. "Every calculation fails. Every plan is useless. Their emotions, their care, it creates chaos in our systems." "What is chaos?" the commander asked sharply. "This is not war. They are helping. They are weak. How can weakness create fear?" But even as the question was asked, the evidence was clear. The humans' acts of compassion were generating an unseen force. Communications between the alien ships were disrupted. Sensors flickered. Calculations that had taken centuries to perfect were failing within seconds. "They are extraordinary," whispered another officer. "We have faced armies, machines, weapons beyond imagination. But these humans, they are unpredictable. And unpredictability is terrifying." A sense of dread filled the command room. The aliens realized that compassion was not just kindness. It was power. It could unite millions, save countless lives, and even interfere with technology designed to control entire fleets. And it came freely, without strategy, without planning, simply because humans cared. The small human ship disappeared once more into the distance, leaving the aliens scrambling to understand its movements. But the real fear was already growing. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not simple. Humanity's greatest strength, their compassion, was something no empire, no weapon, no calculation could ever predict. And the galaxy had just begun to notice. The alien fleet had never felt such unease. High above Earth, the commanders argued once more. "We cannot allow them to continue unchecked," one hissed. "Their compassion, their unity, it disrupts everything. It is dangerous." The decision was made. A small squadron of alien ships would approach the planet, testing the humans. Their goal was simple: observe closely and, if necessary, provoke fear to see how humans would react. Below, Earth was recovering. The streets still bore scars from the earlier disaster, but humans continued to help one another. Volunteers repaired buildings. Families shared food. Strangers guided others to safety without expecting thanks. The alien ships appeared in the sky suddenly, their dark hulls blotting out the sunlight for a moment. Humans noticed the strange objects, but their reaction was not panic. People continued their rescue work. Children were evacuated from damaged areas, and parents led groups of neighbors to safety. Sensors aboard the alien ships detected energy spikes again. Every act of human compassion, every comforting hand, every shared meal, emitted pulses that interfered with the aliens' instruments. Their calculations failed repeatedly. "Impossible," one officer said. "Even when directly observed, they remain calm. They do not flee. They do not attack. They continue to help each other." The aliens decided to escalate. One ship fired a warning shot, a beam of energy meant to scare the humans. But instead of chaos, something unexpected happened. Humans ran toward the danger, not away from it. They carried injured people out of harm's path. They formed protective barriers. Strangers held hands to shield one another from falling debris. The alien officers were stunned. "Why are they not afraid?" one whispered. "This is illogical." The small human ship from before appeared once again, hovering near the alien squadron. Its movements were precise, almost purposeful. It seemed to observe the aliens, tracking their actions, but it never fired. It made no hostile moves. It was as if it understood the situation better than the invaders. On the streets, humans continued their selfless acts. A young woman risked falling rubble to rescue a trapped child. An elderly man pulled a neighbor from a burning building. A firefighter shared oxygen with a stranger until help arrived. Every act of courage and kindness sent energy pulses into the sky, directly impacting the alien fleet sensors. The aliens' leader growled in frustration. "We have weapons that could level cities. Entire armies that could conquer planets. And yet, these humans, these weak, emotional creatures, wield a force that we cannot touch." Another officer hissed in fear. "They are not using weapons, but every movement they make, it disrupts us. Their compassion is dangerous. I do not understand it." The small human ship made a sudden move, intercepting a missile aimed at rescuers below. It diverted the weapon without firing a single shot, leaving the aliens scrambling to recalculate trajectories. They had never faced a defense so passive yet effective. The humans did not notice. They continued helping one another, unaware of the chaos they caused among the alien fleet. Every act of empathy and bravery sent pulses of energy, small but significant, that even the most advanced alien technology could not predict. The alien commander realized something terrifying. Their strength, it is not in their weapons. It is not in their fleets. It is in their hearts. And that is something we cannot control. By the time the squadron retreated, they were shaken. The humans had passed the first test, not through force, not through strategy, but through simple, undeniable compassion. "They are extraordinary," the fleet commander admitted quietly. "We have faced countless civilizations. We have destroyed empires. But never have we faced a species whose greatest weapon is their care for one another." Below, Earth remained unaware. People carried on rebuilding, helping, and protecting each other. To the humans it was normal. To the galaxy it was terrifying. As the alien ships disappeared into the darkness of space, the small human ship followed silently, observing and learning. The aliens had conducted their first test, and failed. They had underestimated humanity once again. And in that moment, one undeniable truth spread through the command bridge. Compassion, a force they had always considered weak, was proving to be humanity's deadliest power. The galaxy had never faced anything like it before. And the humans below had no idea the fear they inspired. Earth was alive with motion. Cities rebuilt themselves, but new threats always loomed. A massive storm system had formed over the Pacific, threatening millions. Tornadoes, floods, and raging fires tore across the continent. Humans faced destruction unlike anything they had experienced before. High above, the alien fleet watched silently. They had learned to fear the humans' unpredictability. But even now they could not understand the full extent of their power. "They are fragile," one officer hissed. And yet, the energy readings are off the charts. Every act of help, every sacrifice, it grows stronger. On the ground, chaos unfolded. People screamed as buildings collapsed, rivers overflowed, and winds tore through towns. But humanity did not panic. Strangers ran toward danger, carrying the injured to safety. Entire communities formed human chains to move debris and rescue trapped civilians. A firefighter pulled a child from a collapsing bridge while a group of volunteers held the structure together just long enough for them to escape. Across the city, neighbors helped elderly citizens climb to safety, sharing food and blankets with those in shock. In orbit, the small human ship appeared again, weaving effortlessly through the storm clouds and atmospheric turbulence. The aliens could not track it accurately. Every attempt to lock onto its position failed. It moved as if guided by some unseen force, a silent protector watching over humanity. The alien commanders whispered among themselves, their voices filled with unease. "This is not war. This is chaos," one said. And yet, every act of chaos strengthens them. How can this be? Below, a young woman lifted a fallen mother from a collapsed building. A man handed a stranger a rope to climb from rising floodwaters. Children helped each other across dangerous terrain. Every act of kindness seemed to radiate energy that no alien technology could measure. "It is terrifying," another officer admitted, clicking its claws nervously. "They do not fight us directly. They do not resist with weapons. And yet, the effect they have, it disrupts everything. Our systems, our plans, our minds." The storm intensified and humans faced it head-on. Communities organized rescue missions, coordinating without a single command. Their unity and care seemed to form an invisible shield, keeping countless lives safe. The small human ship hovered above, guiding them subtly, though the humans never noticed its presence. The alien fleet was in turmoil. Their sensors picked up energy spikes far beyond anything they had recorded before. "They are extraordinary," whispered the youngest officer on the bridge. "Every life saved, every hand held, every stranger helped. It sends waves that affect us. Our calculations fail. Our predictions fail. Nothing works as expected." One commander clenched its appendages in frustration. "They are not warriors. They have no armies. And yet they wield a power we cannot fight, a power born of their care for one another. How can this be?" Below, Earth's humans continued. Fires were extinguished, floods diverted, and lives saved. And yet there was no thought of glory. No one sought recognition. They were simply doing what humans did best, helping one another even in the face of impossible danger. The alien officers looked at each other, fear creeping into their voices. "We have underestimated them again," one admitted. "Every calculation, every plan, they have defied it all. And the more they help, the stronger they grow." The small human ship vanished into the horizon, leaving the aliens to grapple with a horrifying realization. Humanity's compassion was not just kindness. It was influence. It was power. It could unite millions, disrupt advanced technology, and defy prediction. The storm passed, leaving cities damaged but the people intact. Humanity had survived yet again, not through weapons, not through armies, but through selfless action, courage, and compassion. High above, the alien fleet retreated, their confidence shaken. They had conducted tests, observed humans, and yet they still did not understand. One thing was clear: this was no ordinary species. They were unpredictable, united, and powerful in ways the galaxy had never seen. And in the quiet of space, one thought spread through the command bridge: this is just the beginning. If compassion is their weapon, then the galaxy has never faced anything like them. Far above Earth, the alien fleet gathered in full formation. Their previous tests and observations had left them shaken. Every act of human kindness, every moment of compassion, had disrupted their instruments, confused their calculations, and challenged everything they believed about power. The alien commanders convened in the largest ship, a towering structure of black metal and sharp edges. Holographic displays floated around them, showing Earth in minute detail. Cities, disaster zones, human movements, energy spikes, all were projected for analysis. Yet nothing explained what they were witnessing. "We have studied them for centuries," one commander hissed, its voice a low vibration. "We observed their wars, their technology, their culture, and yet we still cannot predict them. Every calculation fails. Every plan falters." Another clicked angrily. "They are weak, fragile. And yet, every act of empathy, every moment of selfless action, produces power that our machines cannot counter. Their compassion, it is dangerous." The fleet had tried subtle interventions. They had sent small forces to interfere in human disasters, hoping to provoke fear or confusion. But each attempt backfired. Humans acted in ways the aliens could not anticipate. Strangers saved enemies. Children led adults to safety. Entire communities coordinated without orders, achieving feats of unity that no algorithm could model. "They are extraordinary," whispered a junior officer, shaking its appendages nervously. "Not because of their weapons. Not because of their fleets. But because of how they care for one another. It changes everything." The lead commander leaned closer to the main display, focusing on a cluster of humans who had just survived a collapsing bridge. The energy pulses emanating from them were unlike anything ever recorded in the galaxy. They seemed to ripple outward, subtly influencing the environment, affecting communications, and even altering the alien fleet sensors. "Observe this," said the commander. "Every single action, helping a stranger, comforting the injured, saving a child, produces energy that interacts with our systems. They do not need weapons. Their compassion itself is a force." The room fell silent. Even the most seasoned commanders could not hide their fear. This is unlike anything we have faced," one finally admitted. "They are not predictable. They are not calculable. And yet they can disrupt fleets, systems, entire operations without lifting a finger." Meanwhile, on Earth, humans continued their daily lives. They repaired homes, aided the wounded, and comforted those who had lost everything. No one realized that above them, a powerful alien fleet trembled at the force of their actions. The small human ship hovered once again, observing quietly. Its presence was subtle, almost invisible. And yet, every move it made seemed to amplify the effect of human compassion. The aliens could not explain it. "It is as if the humans are connected," one officer murmured. "Every act of kindness, every rescue, every helping hand, they amplify one another." A younger officer hesitated before speaking. "Commander, if we cannot predict them, if we cannot control them, then what do we do?" The commander's eyes narrowed. "We do what we always do with unknown threats. We retreat. We watch. And we hope that this unpredictability does not grow beyond our control." But deep down, even the commander knew the truth. Humanity's compassion was more than a simple emotion. It was strategy, power, and influence rolled into one. And it was spreading faster than any weapon ever could. "They are dangerous," the commander whispered, almost to itself. "Not because they destroy, but because they unite. Not because they conquer, but because they care. And the galaxy has never faced anything like them." The alien fleet dispersed, retreating into the darkness of space. Their sensors remained locked on Earth, but the fear that had taken root would not leave. Humanity's greatest weapon, their ability to care for one another, was unstoppable. It was invisible, unpredictable, and terrifying to those who relied on logic and force. And on Earth, humans continued, unaware of the fear they inspired. A boy helped an elderly neighbor to safety. A woman shared food with strangers. A team of rescuers pulled survivors from a collapsed building. Each act sent ripples of compassion into the world, echoing far beyond their understanding. The alien commanders watched in silent awe. For the first time, they realized that power did not always lie in fleets or weapons. Sometimes, it lay in something far more human, far more dangerous. Earth was calm on the surface, but a storm of unseen energy rippled through the skies. The alien fleet had retreated to the edges of the solar system, shaken and confused. They could not predict humanity. They could not measure its power. And above all, they could not understand it. The small human ship appeared again, hovering silently above a city still recovering from disaster. Its presence was subtle, almost ghost-like, but the aliens watched it with fear. Every movement, every change in altitude, seemed to interact with the humans below, amplifying their compassion. On the streets, humans were everywhere, helping, saving, comforting. Children carried water to exhausted rescuers. Parents protected strangers as if they were family. Even in danger, humans acted selflessly. The alien commanders could not comprehend it. No weapons, no fleets. And yet, their actions disrupt everything, one whispered. They do not fight us, and yet they could destroy entire strategies without firing a shot. Suddenly, a series of massive energy spikes erupted across the planet. The alien sensors went wild. Communication networks failed. Navigational instruments flickered. Even distant satellites struggled to maintain orbit. "What is happening?" another officer hissed. "Their compassion, it is affecting our systems." It was true. Every act of selflessness, every rescue, every shared resource had built up a network of energy far beyond what the aliens could measure. Humanity's empathy was not just emotional, it was tangible. It had become a force that could influence technology, disrupt fleets, and confound even the most advanced calculations. In orbit, the small human ship moved to the center of this energy network. It hovered quietly, like a conductor guiding an unseen symphony. And as the humans below continued to help one another, the energy pulses intensified, sending waves into the alien fleet. Ships trembled, sensors failed, and even the alien leaders felt unease in their cores. "They do not even know what they are doing," a junior officer whispered. "They are unaware, yet they are unstoppable." On Earth, humans remained oblivious. They were focused on saving lives, rebuilding homes, and protecting one another. There were no cheers. No grand gestures. Just quiet, consistent care repeated again and again. The alien commanders realized something terrifying. They had faced empires, weapons, and machines that could destroy worlds. They had faced cruelty, violence, and war. But they had never faced a species whose greatest power was its compassion. And that power was unstoppable. "They are dangerous," the fleet commander admitted quietly, almost to itself. "Not because they kill but because they care. Not because they conquer but because they unite. And we cannot control it. We cannot stop it." The small human ship disappeared into the darkness, leaving the aliens scrambling to maintain order. Their fleet had never felt fear like this. And for the first time, they understood that humanity was more than it seemed. A young officer spoke softly, voice trembling. "Commander, if we cannot predict them, if we cannot control them, then what happens next?" The commander remained silent, staring at Earth below. Slowly it whispered, "We will see, but one thing is certain. The galaxy has never seen anything like this. And it will never be the same again." Below, humans continued their quiet work. Children guided the injured, neighbors helped strangers, and communities rebuilt together. To the humans it was just life. To the galaxy, it was a force of unimaginable power. And so, the universe learned a terrifying truth: humanity's greatest weapon was not firepower, not fleets, not machines. It was compassion. A simple, selfless, unstoppable force that no empire could predict, no calculation could measure, and no war could overcome. The galaxy had witnessed the rise of humanity's quiet power. And it trembled.